Hi. So today on State of Mind, I have. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little bit nervous,
Yeah.
and I don't know why, but I am. But that's all right because I'm excited. I'm with Risa Dorken, who the reason I'm kind of nervous is because she's not only pretty, but she's a singer, a dancer, an actor, and that's like a triple threat.
Thank you.
And she's bipolar,
Yeah.
which for me makes her strong, even though at times we seem not strong and fragile and all that. But the reality is, you're like what I like to say with a man who's bipolar, you're like my sister now because we're in the same club, right?
Mm.
So how you feeling?
Good. I'm also nervous,
Yeah?
but I'm excited.
Good.
Ready to be open and talk about what I've been through.
Oh wow, I can't wait to get there. Let's talk a little bit. I want to talk. You were born in Minnesota, right?
Yeah, born and raised.
Yeah, because I used to go out to Spider Lake Resort. You know where that's at?
No. I'm bad at locations.
Dang! I'm just joking because I've never been there. I heard it on Dateline.
Yeah.
And I thought that I could say that.
I go with it.
So you grew up in Minnesota, though, right?
Yeah.
And how was that?
Cold.
Was it
Yeah.
always cold?
No, I mean the winters are really rough, -degrees and frostbite, all that good stuff. So Prince said, it keeps the bad people out.
Oh, because he's from.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And then when it's hot, is it hot or?
Yeah, humid. Lots of
So
mosquitoes.
it's like New York.
Yeah, similar.
Yeah, I didn't like New York that much because the weather was. I like to visit, but not to live.
Yeah.
First time I was in New York, the wind chill was like below 10, 20 or something. I've never felt that.
Yeah.
I said, let's go home. So how was it? You have one sister?
One sister, one brother.
And one brother.
Mm-hmm.
Are they older or younger?
Both older.
And how are they? How's the relationship?
They're great. I mean, my sister's a nurse. My brother is a glass artist.
Really?
In Denver. So we have creative and intellectual people in the family.
Wow. And your mom?
Mom, yeah, she works in sales.
And your dad?
My dad used to work for Delta, but he just retired.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And you guys were close?
Yeah, close-knit.
So listen, obviously, usually when somebody is bipolar or anything mental illness, something happened in their childhood and you were all good?
Yeah, I mean, depression, anxiety, and some anger runs in my family.
What?
But besides that, no one's been medicated or...
And your parents have been great to you?
Yeah.
Like I love my mom and dad, but my dad was abusive to me, which may have led to other stuff. And then that's probably maybe one of the reasons I had my first breakdown. But you didn't have that.
No.
Darn.
Yeah. I was like pretty happy, pretty go lucky up until it happened.
But now where did your depression and anxiety and all that come from?
That just runs in my family. My siblings dealt with it. My parents dealt with it off and on. But no one was ever medicated or...
But see, that's interesting because that's hereditary then. And when you were young, how was the depression? How did it manifest itself?
For myself?
Yeah.
How
old were you?
When what?
When you had depression.
I don't even think I dealt with depression.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How about anxiety? Nothing?
I dealt with anxiety.
Okay,
I was
anxiety.
a very neurotic girl. I thought that was normal to be so stressed out and so anxious that you black out and you don't remember things, or I need an hour to rev myself up to go out in public sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that was normal.
Yes, because you think it's normal because nobody around you understands it or even talks about it, right? Or
Yeah.
I would imagine. So to you, just like me with certain things, I thought it was normal until somebody looked at me like, that's
Yeah.
not normal, dude.
Yeah.
You need to go to a psychiatrist. But I thought everybody, so you didn't know until when?
Well, probably until I had my episode. I didn't know.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I didn't know the level of stress and anxiety I was dealing with day to day until I got medicated after my episode. I thought that it was all tied to my career and just being a nervous person.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, so all that time is fascinating to me. All that time that you could have gotten help,
Yeah.
you had to deal with that.
Yeah.
Even as a young little girl, and then as a teenager, same thing?
Yeah, things would come up where I would just be extremely stressed or anxious, and I would need to prepare myself to go out into the world, or, you know, I would get so overwhelmed sometimes, and I thought that was normal.
Like, what would you feel before, when you were getting nervous or scared to go out to a function or something? How would you feel? Like, did you feel antsy?
Yeah.
Did you feel
Agitated.
Agitated. Your thoughts are like this.
Yeah, super fast thoughts. I thought that was normal too, because I'm a fast-paced talker, I'm a fast-paced thinker, and as soon as I started taking medication, my thoughts slowed down, and I thought I was like getting so slow because I was used to that level of
What
information.
medication? You just took the medication just recently, you're saying?
Yeah.
What the damn? That's kind of a drag, because nobody, usually with mental illness, even with me at 21, like I told you before we started this, nobody knew what was happening.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was incidents when I was little, and especially when I was a teenager, always getting in fights and releasing stuff, and it would be like an animal was inside me, right?
Yeah.
But no, everybody thought, that's Maurice, he's a tough dude, you know? There's nothing wrong with him.
Yeah.
And then I remember one time, my girlfriend was late to a party, and this I never even talked to her. I just remembered it right now. And I was drinking, and I hit my hand on a tack that was about this long. Just put it in my. That's probably your kind of anger too, right? I just put it in there, and I was like, nothing. It was like, but all that stuff is little signs that you're gonna break.
Yeah, I was internalizing all that. I would never snap and get angry. I was I would take it all on.
What would you do? Like, just not say anything, and then inside you're ready to
throw up before I had events. You know, it would manifest itself as throwing up, or, you know, being terrified all the time.
Man. And then, when did you meet your husband? 5 years ago or something?
10 years ago. We've been married for 3 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And how was he?
He kind of saw the transition for me.
Does he have anything going on, mental illness?
No. And he's my savior. I cannot say enough good things about him.
That's the best, man.
Yeah, he knew who I was even when I didn't.
Really?
So, yeah.
So how did you meet him?
At Circle in the Square Theater School in New York.
You were both
actors.
And then you guys just liked each other?
Yeah, he moved into my apartment, and we've been inseparable ever since.
Really?
Yeah.
And so when you guys first got together, did he see things and say to you, you know, I think there's something up, honey? Or...
Not until like recently.
Oh boy, dang! So you went through a lot of stuff without, at least with me, from the get. Once I was in a mental institution, I knew that I was bipolar, manic depressive. So but you didn't.
No, my episode to me happened in a matter of 2 weeks. I went from not having a problem, not having a mental illness, to within 2 weeks everything being wrong.
All right, so let's get to that.
Yeah.
So, but I want to, because I'm really into this right now. You're with your husband.
Mm-hmm.
And also she works at General Hospital. So, you know, she plays Amy, the nurse. But we don't know each other that well. We just, which is cool. This is interesting because I feel like I know you now. So you came out to LA with your husband.
Yep.
But he was your husband when you came out, or no?
No, not yet.
No, he was your boyfriend.
Boyfriend.
All right. So he came out with you, and then you guys were out here looking for work. He didn't know. He just thought maybe something was wrong with you?
Yeah, that I didn't handle stress well sometimes.
Well, I mean, but if you don't know, I guess that's the way you would see that.
Yeah.
If you were around me enough, I'd maybe say, I think there may be something funny there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then what happened? You guys came out here and lived together. And you're cool. Everything's, you love each other. Everything's great. When did you get GH?
2016. So like a year after we moved out here, I got GH.
Oh, you got that quick.
Yeah. It was a dream come true at the time.
Wow.
It still is, yeah.
That's amazing. You got that quick. So then you got that. You're all happy. Everything's great. Now, you know what, with you, what's amazing, I had a conversation with somebody else, and I think somebody else brought this up, but you would not look like someone who would have a breakdown or is bipolar. I mean, at least with me, you're like, well, Maurice, with the character I play and everything, right? But you, which I love, and that's really another reason I want to interview you, because people need to know that you can look in any way, and mental illness is the way it is, and it doesn't matter who you look like, how much money you got, it doesn't matter. And you're the prime example of that, because out of anybody I probably ever met, you would be the last person I think that would go through that.
Yeah.
So you get GH, and you guys are so what happens, close to the time that you had the episode? What's going on?
Yeah.
I want to know it all.
So leading up to it, it was the week before my 30th birthday. So already I'm a little stressed out as an aging woman in this career.
Right.
I'm a little stressed out about that. And I was interested in psychics and crystals and astrology.
Psychics, like you go and they tell you what's going to happen in the...
Yeah.
Okay.
And it got to a point where I was so obsessive about this alternative lifestyle that I was creating that I just slowly lost my mind within a week.
Okay, so you're going to psychics, which is not I've gone to psychics too.
Yeah.
And when you're like us, that's not good, because it's almost like there's weird energy. All right? This is weird energy. So a week of stuff, like
a week
what?
of stuff. I'm feeling off. I went to the doctor. I got tested for a parasite. I thought I had a parasite because I just felt off. My digestion was off. I had started purging as a part of my episode. I couldn't keep food down. So I had started purging. I got tested for a parasite. They said nothing was wrong. And I just slowly started sleeping less, to the point where I didn't need to sleep. I didn't sleep at all.
Oh, that's the killer.
Yeah. So I didn't need sleep anymore, and I'm puking, and slowly I just lose my touch with reality. What the psychics were telling me was becoming real, and I was becoming terrified. I thought I was going to be murdered.
Oh, you thought you were going to be murdered?
Yeah, and I got extreme paranoia. I thought there were cameras everywhere in my house. I took things off the ceiling, the smoke detectors off the ceiling, and
now, what's your husband saying?
I still am very convincing. I'm like, he was not.
Honey, just don't worry about it.
Yeah, because I was into conspiracy theories, and he was like still supporting me and being kind and trying to get on board with me till the last point.
So he's believing you.
Yeah, he's on board. I'm a little nutty, but he loves me.
Yeah. So he's like, all right.
Yeah.
Wow. Then. That's amazing. Then that's that week, and then what? Then where's it go to?
I had 2 5150 holds put against me.
Wait, how did that start?
How did it start?
How'd you get the
The first one, my husband drove me to the emergency room.
Because?
because I was not making sense. I thought the Oscars were about me, and
Wow.
I became obsessed about myself. Everything was about me. I thought I wrote music that Taylor Swift wrote. I thought the Oscars were about me. I watched a movie and I thought it was a movie about my life.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
So he was listening to this going, now I think this is getting...
Yeah, now it's unhealthy. She's lost touch with reality.
Yeah.
So I go to the emergency room and they don't have a psych department. So I was not admitted to the hospital. I had a freak out in the hospital, lost my shit.
What'd you do?
I just became the Incredible Hulk. Like, they tried to separate me from my husband, and they took 3 like armed guys to strap me down and inject me with whatever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Same with me though.
Yeah, I would just became the Hulk, and I was full of rage, and so they knew something was up with me. They did testing. They thought I was on drugs.
Yeah, I know. That's right.
They ran everything, and they couldn't believe there was nothing in my system.
Nothing.
And so rested off. Then I was admitted to the 5150 hold from the hospital. They transferred me to the psych hospital, and I stayed there for like 2 days, and that was not a good place.
Well, how was that?
Terrible.
Did they tie you down?
Yeah.
The straps and
The
shit?
straps, and I was.
I thought they said they don't do that anymore.
No, I strapped down, strapped down for hours. It seemed like to me, and my thing about the holds is, I don't think they're designed to help. They're designed to make you safe at that moment.
Yeah, if you're violent,
Yeah.
they got to do something, right? But for me, they threw me in a seclusion room for a whole 24 hours, and it drove me out of my head.
Yeah.
I couldn't get away, and I was
No one tells you what's going
nothing.
on. Yeah.
I thought that was somebody told me they don't tie you down.
No.
Wow. That's not cool.
Yeah, and I have a really big fear of shots, so that I just remember a lot of shots. They were giving me shots of everything. And
Did they tell you you're having a nervous breakdown?
never. No one ever told me. I went 2 days not even talking to a doctor once I got in the 5150 hold. So no one ever like sat me down and like tried to be compassionate.
But do you understand why we're having this conversation?
Yeah.
Because I went through everything you're going through, and that was 35 how many years ago, and you're telling me this happened just now.
Yeah.
So it hasn't gotten better.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's not. Look, I'm supposed to go to Washington and speak in front of Congress, and this is the kind of stuff that I'm going to be talking about because it's wrong,
Yeah.
and it made it worse for you, right?
Yeah.
So then what?
So I got out of my first hold because I lied to the doctors. As an adult over the age of 18, I have all the rights. So my husband was trying to communicate with the doctors and get me help. Meanwhile, I'm telling them that he's controlling me, that I want a divorce, that he doesn't have my best interest. So they're believing me because I'm over 18. And so I eventually get out of that hold, and we go home, and I rip up the prescription they gave me because I didn't want to take pills.
Oh, you didn't want the pills?
No. So I rip up the prescription they gave me out of the hold. There was no follow-up, no nothing. And 4 days later, my husband ends up calling the NAMI hotline.
Ah, yes.
And they came to the house and assessed me and said I was in a manic episode. And they took me to another 5150 hold. And that one went a little better, but still, I actually had a bad experience because the whole time I had a problem with reality. And the whole time I was in a hospital. So I was used to General Hospital, being around cameras in a hospital setting. So I thought the whole thing was a show. So the whole time I'm in the holds, I'm behaving and acting like I'm on the set of somewhere. And the doctor is calling me Amy. I had a psychiatrist who recognized me and called me Amy. So that made it worse.
Wow.
I didn't know which way was up. I didn't know what was true, what was fake.
That's almost similar to my story. What you're saying is almost, I mean, I wasn't acting in the beginning of my career like on a show, but I thought my name was Rick Madrid because my acting coach gave me the name Rick Madrid, so I didn't want to get admitted.
Yeah.
So they said, you're gonna have to sign your name. I said, so I signed Rick Madrid, and I still wouldn't go in. And I fought these doctors. You fought them too, right?
Yeah.
I fought these guys that gave me shots.
Yeah.
Same thing. And I thought I was the Exorcist.
Yeah.
Because that movie traumatized me. So I was spitting on them and calling them, you know, names, and I'm the devil, and what the
little things from your childhood and things that really resonate come back up like in such a weird way.
Yes, they do. Yeah. Wow. So now what's your husband saying?
Now he just
I'm
wants,
stuck on your husband.
He just wants help. He's like the hero of this whole story because he like I said, he knew me when I didn't know who I was. He came and visited me at the holds and would try to get me in touch with reality and try to get me to sign the paperwork, and I was just gone.
Wow. So then now you're out of the hospital. Now you have to go through a depression, right? When you go up, you got to come down.
I didn't know that I was. I thought I was having side effects to the new medication.
Yeah, some people don't have, you know, like Kanye West. Maybe he doesn't, that's why he keeps not taking medication, because he likes staying high. And maybe, from what I understand, some people's lows are not as low.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what mine is.
Yours is not as low.
I don't get low. And so I never crashed. I went from feeling awesome and like the sexiest, the most powerful, the everything.
Wow. So, yeah, because with me, that's why I always want help, because I know what's coming. And that's that dreadful depression that is deadly. So I don't want to go high if I have to feel that.
Yeah.
But the people like you you don't like to feel high either? You don't like that high, right?
I mean, I've only experienced it once, and I hope to never experience it again in my life because I'm going to stay on my medication.
What are you taking?
I take Geodon, is an antipsychotic, and then I take Prozac for antidepressant.
Ah, because I take lithium. I've been taking it for 28 years.
Nice.
And it saved me.
Yeah.
It saved me. But for anxiety, you don't take anything?
No, the Prozac helps a little.
Oh, yeah, Prozac, yeah. Because I went through, man, I keep talking about this. I don't want to get people to be like, oh, there he talks about it again. But, and I want to tell you a little something before we end this. It's a joy, really, the way you talk about, because my wife's like, don't get too intense. Don't get too deep with her. You don't want, and the way you're talking, what I love about it is we see a lot of hope. Sometimes I go real deep, and it's like, oh, Maurice, you know, it's too deep or whatever. My wife gets weird, but when you speak, we feel your pain, but it's also a lot of hope. But what I went through just this pandemic, I think you and I on the Instagram talked about it a bit, was I almost swore. Was hell. I mean, hell. 4 months of hell, literally. And I'd never taken anything for anxiety. I always got through it. But when you're that bad, like you were that bad, and I've been that bad many times in the past, you gotta take something. Otherwise, you're in trouble, right? So now I was in trouble, and I've been taking Lexapro, and it saved me.
Yeah.
It literally saved my life. And I hate to say that, but I'm always into the truth, you know?
Yeah.
And I want to tell you something that I remember coming home in maybe a month or two of my anxiety of being real bad. And I came home and you left me a message. We didn't know each other. And it said, you know, you're going through something, bipolar, this and that, and can I call you and stuff? And I looked at my wife, I said, baby, because I always, anybody who asks for anything from me like that, I always, and I said, baby, and she goes, honey, no, you can't you can't even walk, basically.
Yeah.
And I said, darn, but honey, she goes, no, honey. And then I remember when I got better, I text you, and you were so sweet to me. And you said, you got to take care of you, you know, you got to take care of you first. And it was very sweet, because I didn't know if you were going to be upset or.
No.
Well, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, I don't like to leave anybody hanging, but I had to do what I had to do, and I appreciate that so much.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming around eventually. I lost a lot of friends during my episode, and so having you as an inspiration has been a lot of help.
Oh, hey, you know, I'm your friend now, and anytime you... The problem that I have with people is I tell them to call me and stuff, because when I'm doing well, I'll do anything. I'm really... That's my thing, right? And then nobody calls.
Yeah.
Because I think people are embarrassed or too much pride. I'm not that, because when I'm messed up, I want to get better so bad, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like walking around like, it's just, you know, like in so much pain. I want to just, you know, I'd call you, Risa, you know, can we talk? I'll do it. But most people aren't like that.
Yeah.
They stay to, and I know a few people like that now who stay to themselves. And what ends up happening is they're going to get in big trouble eventually, because they're not reaching out for help.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm wiped out. Well, anyway, what can I say? It's been great. I think Risa, whether she knows it or not, is just amazing, and she is going to help a lot of young girls, because of what she just said right now, and I'm absolutely proud of her.
Thank you.